Hey guys, it's Han, and a little disclaimer before we get into the podcast. This episode was recorded about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and unfortunately a friend of ours had passed away prior to when we were going to post this, so we figured it'd be a little in bad taste if we posted it, given the circumstances. And then we just ended up kind of forgetting about this episode and recording different episodes, but now we're posting it, so please ignore any dated content. And by that I mean we talk about specific events, specific dates that had already happened, just so you don't get confused. That's pretty much about it. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for your support. Yeah, all right. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hanging High podcast, where we get together at the end of every week and we talk about our life, things that we find mildly entertaining, and we put in a lot of time and effort making content for no people to watch. My name is Han. Today, I am here with a special guest.
My name is Boodle, and I'm the special guest.
So,
apparently.
Very special. Wink, wink.
Fuck that. What's that supposed to mean?
Anyway, so, if you haven't already figured it out by now, it is just the two of us today. Again, Jacob had some personal shiz-biz he needed to deal with, so he has yet again abandoned us. All jokes, we love you, Jacob. Hope your life is good. So, it's just me and Boodle, and we never have anything planned when we come into these podcasts. Actually, I wouldn't say never. It's very rarely do it be like, oh, I definitely want to talk about this. We just kind of go with the flow. We just really work off of each other. Our energies are so different, and we just kind of vibe off of each other. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case today, because we're missing our sunshine. I really do think Jacob is the glue that holds us together.
Dude, I told him that.
Because I can as much as I love you, Boodle, I love you so much. And when we're just talking just by ourselves, it flows. We're just, we're just hanging out. But doing the show alone, it just feels different than that. Does that make sense?
I think.
Yeah. It's just, I love Jacob so much.
I do.
Now that he's not actually here and he probably won't listen to the podcast, can we just actually talk about how great he is?
Dude, yeah.
We don't
been there for me for a lot of stuff that I probably would never tell on the podcast. Probably need
your brony face.
You. Well, not that stuff, but just he's been in my life for a lot of low points.
He's your Boodle. Because I have you, so. And you're that for me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I love you so much.
I got mad.
But he's what the hell did you say? So I think this should be just a laid back, chill session.
Yeah. Can we talk about how I'm awesome?
No. We were actually just doing that for Jacob. So let's stay on one topic. No, but seriously, guys, I think you guys can all agree. I mean, it's not hanging high without everyone's friendly neighborhood mother lover. Am I right?
What the fuck did you just say? You went
I'm sorry, you're stupid and can't understand me. Anyway, I said it's not hanging high without everyone's favorite mother lover. Everyone's neighborhood mother lover.
This is why Hannah doesn't want to do it without Jacob, because they get very angry.
Not true. No, but seriously, Jacob and I don't talk a lot, outside of group chats and Discord servers, but I hope he knows how much he means to me. If it wasn't for him, I don't think the show wouldn't even come into place in the first place.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He wasn't even
there when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
You were just you were oh, Jacob's gonna come on, and then he was here.
I didn't even care about your feelings on it, honestly.
You're this is happening.
Yeah. So,
but
then here we are.
Jacob.
I was talking to him earlier, and he was oh, you guys should try to get guests since I'm gonna.
We should. We were genuinely we were talking about that. Remember when Jacob was talking about wanting just to take a break after everything that happened a couple weeks ago from for a while, but he surprisingly he didn't. I really thought he was gonna. I feel like. Did you just fart?
No, it's my fridge. It makes that sound every once in a while. You're gonna have to get used to that.
It sounds just like your ass. I'm gonna be real. Why did you look offended? That's not like an insult. It's just farts are just like they have that very distinct sound.
I'm trying to process what you just said to me. Like,
am I wrong? Am I wrong though?
A little bit.
Okay.
My ass sounds more wet. That sounds more like.
Oh my god.
Dude, wait till you're gonna be trying to sleep, and then that fridge is gonna go off in the middle of the night.
Trust me, we have car alarms that go off every other night here. Like people's cars just keep going off for some reason. Mike says I sleep through anything.
Yeah.
Like I fell asleep on that couch. I was taking a nap one time, and he was. I woke up and he was rearranging the entire like entertainment section of the living room, and I was like, "What the hell?" He goes, "I'm surprised you slept through all that," because apparently he was making a lot of noise.
So basically, you're like, an old person.
Fuck you! I just enjoy my peace and quiet and time for myself. I love you so much. Like, can I talk to you about how I feel about the podcast? I think this could be like a mini therapy session too.
You're gonna be like, I feel like we're doing it for nothing, and I'm gonna be like, hey, it's not about that. It's about us.
That's not where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I just think we all have full-time jobs. We all like put a lot of time and effort into our real lives with very little payoff from that, because the economy is shit. And I know you're exhausted. I'm sure fucking Jacob is exhausted every day after coming home from work, and me, like, customer service can eat my ass, but I love my job. Like just today I visited my coworker to like gossip with her because I was in the area and I got some cookies, and like she's really talking about having cookies from this place. I'm like, I'm gonna get her a fucking cookie because I love her. So I got her a cookie, and then like I was like, immediately after I went in there, I'm like, okay, what are you guys working on? What are you guys doing here? You got how's your day been so far? Like I just went like instant like work mode. And I felt really good. But it's like, it's my day off. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, I got, like, an instant serotonin boost, which is, like, really weird. Because when I have to be there, I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like it's different. Because I know that feeling. Like, I went to visit Jacob one time when me and him worked at the same place. I visited him on one of my days off just to, see how he's doing. I walked in, I'm like, oh, how's things been? It just felt nice to, like, go in and not have the obligation to like stay there, but just catch
up. Yeah. But like going back to what I was saying, like you remember when we first started the podcast, it was a live, we were live for like an hour to an hour and a half. I would download the VOD. We would do this on a Sunday night, 10 to like 11:30, 12 o'clock. Monday night, I would download the VOD, and then I would edit everything, stay up late to have it uploaded for Tuesday. You remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
That was hell. And then so, like, again, I had a lot of fun doing it, but it was fucking hell. And then we switched to videos instead. And we haven't been alive on that channel in like 5 months, I think. 6 months is when we got our last Twitch follower. So, thanks. I'm streaming on Streamlabs, so I can see all that right now.
The last stream I remember doing was the Magic one.
Yeah.
And we had somebody raid me, and I was just like, well,
I think that was the first stream, but then we did the Halo, remember?
Well, the first, like, non-podcast stream
was the Magic. But then we started doing recording instead, and then editing, but we still did that on a Sunday night. And again, it wasn't as annoying, because you didn't have to wait for, like, 45 minutes for the video to download from Twitch. But it was still a lot of work, and then we switched to Saturdays. So, I'm a very visual person. Like, whereas, like, I know, we'll start here. You love your audiobooks. You love listening to podcasts on, like, Spotify. You do that because you enjoy listening to it and having other stuff in the background. Whereas I'm a very visual person. Like, I'll, like, play a couple minutes on Spotify just so we can get that kind of, Spotify traction. I'm my biggest supporter, okay? I'm our number one fan. But I enjoy watching the videos. I love seeing everything and, like, all the little details on the screen. Like, it took me, it's not a lot, and I know somebody's gonna come in here and be like, oh, that setup is fucking lame as hell, it's so blah blah blah, but I worked a while on this. Like, this was like four or five different versions I've come before I like settled on this one. Like, I spent days on this, and again, it's not a lot, but I'm proud of the work I did. You know what I mean?
It's good.
Yeah, I don't. You sound a little sarcastic.
It's good.
But then we switched. Anyway, I'm getting off track. But then we switched to Saturdays, so that way. I'm gonna kill my dog. But so that way that we can record on Saturdays, and then I'll get a little bit done. But then on Sundays, since we're off, my store's closed on Sundays, I'll hang out with my man, hang out with my dog, and then I'll get half the video edited on Sunday, half of it edited on Monday, so that way it's up for Tuesday. And I think that's really worked for me. But like, then we have to do, like, going back to what I was saying about podcasts on Spotify versus YouTube, it's just a lot of work doing both of that. Because I'm like, well, I like doing the YouTube, I love video editing, but also, like, then you gotta, not so much like converting it as the audio format to upload it, but it costs $12.99 a month.
Oh.
RSS is $12.99 a month. But I do love the fact that we're on Spotify. You search the Hanging High podcast, because we're on Spotify, now we're on Google Podcasts, we're on all these other types of podcast sites. And like that, I didn't even have to put any fucking effort towards that. One, that's a little scary, but two, that's amazing. Because what if somebody just accidentally stumbles across it on one of those sites that they use?
Yeah.
So,
and then they're like, oh, maybe we could find them on YouTube.
Yeah. So now I'm just thinking, like, YouTube is my strong suit. That's where I don't want to say specialize in, but that's where I'll say I excel in it. I excel in doing the YouTube stuff because it's something I'm actually passionate about and enjoy doing. But like the audio stuff, I don't know.
I think the way you need to treat it is like audio.
It's like,
I'll say this. You have to like plan like what you want to like visualize with your editing, and then just take that away and just get the actual cuts down first.
So that's what when I'm editing, I go back, I cut stuff out, I do that, and then I actually go back in and then I do the zooms, I do everything afterwards after it's already all cut down and ready to go. Again, and then at that point, it's just converting it from a video to an audio, which takes like 3 seconds. It's just like, we're also like just very active people. Like, we're always showing stuff. We're always, that's what I noticed we stopped doing. You know what I haven't said in a while? Sorry, Spotify listeners, or blah, 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 Spotify listeners. Because like, it just like completely slips my mind at this point. I think what we do need to get better on is just like, if we're doing something visual, like just to be like, hey, you know what I mean? Because again, some people are like you, where they prefer to listen while they're doing other stuff.
Yeah, I mean.
But what are your plans for the podcast? What do you want to do moving forward?
Just the podcast?
Yeah, just in general. Just like what is it? Because I mentioned it earlier, but I think that's one of our biggest strong suits, but also one of our biggest weaknesses is that we don't plan stuff. Like, it can work out where we're like, we have spontaneous stuff that we do in the show, and that like it's just funny. We get these like raw, funny, unscripted, unplanned moments. But then at the same time, it could be like, oh crap, we don't have anything planned. Jacob can't make it. What do we do? Like, you know, because we don't have that third person's energy to bounce off of. But if we have something planned and he couldn't make it, we can still do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what is something that you want? Oh, what is something that you want to like do?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, like what is something like you like wanna? And again, it's hard because we talk to each other every day. Like if I can't, like, I was just talking to Mike about this. He was talking about like just because all of his friends he met in real life, and now that they've moved away, he said it was like hard for him to like kind of like maintain that contact because it's different for him. He prefers face-to-face physical contact versus I think communicating like this is easier, mostly because of my past and the fact that I didn't have no socialization when I was a kid, but also I think it's easier this way because you can find people so fast with similar interests and it just like works like that. So
it's a lot more just like, oh, you like this, I like this.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So, like I was saying, it's hard to, like, really, because we talk to each other every fucking day. Like, that's the point I was going on. Sorry. Even if, like, I can't get on Discord and hang out with you guys like you guys do every night, I'll still, like, talk to you for, like, half an hour on FaceTime or something, and then we still get a lot. We talk about a lot in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a diary. I can just talk to you. You know what I mean? I can just give you all the dirt, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Tell me about your fungus on your toes.
Okay, I told you not to tell anyone about that. I didn't tell anyone about your ass. I was gonna say fungus, but you already said that, so it's not funny.
Yeah. I'm trying to steal my thunder.
But no, like what I was saying, like, it's hard to, like, preserve stuff for the podcast almost, because if something happens, I'm like, oh my god, Boodle, I need to tell you about this. So personally for me, there isn't anything I'm dying to talk about or do until, like, I just think of something spontaneously. I think I'm a very spontaneous person, but I also love planning stuff, so that those two sides of my personality do not mesh, like, at all. But I know there's stuff that, like, you really love and that you like to talk about.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about my interests, and I like to talk about them with people I care about. So, honestly, right now, the only thing that's been keeping my attention, even after all this time, is One Piece. At the moment, just because it's very topical. Me and Jacob, whenever he gets on tonight, it's probably going to be late. We're going to watch the new episode. That's really the only thing I got planned for tonight.
Do you have to work Sunday? Good. Okay. So that means you guys can stay up. I just feel bad, because, like, you guys aren't doing, like, a weekly thing like you, right? You guys aren't doing, like, a weekly watch thing, right?
Oh, like for this stuff?
Yeah,
no,
like it was just for the...
It was just that first one, just because it was, like, the episode.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, but this, it's still, like, it's still good, it's just, it's not as topical anymore.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should watch Stone Ocean together, and then you do a review of it.
Yeah.
I feel like, I still can't believe you haven't seen that. I want to talk to you about it so bad, but...
I've already gotten spoiled on it, like, a shit ton.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been out for years. Like, the comic's been out for ages.
Well, it got worse when the anime came out. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like...
Netflix really fucked that up. I'm going to die on this hill. Doing batch releases kills the hype. It really kills the hype. Because if you do, like, One Piece is weekly. So you guys have something to look forward to every week. And that's what I loved the most about, like, watching a show that was currently in progress, like JoJo Fridays a couple of years ago. That was, like, almost 3 years ago.
God.
Like, getting together every Friday, I think, oh my god, there was, like, voice chat was just full. And then, remember Rabbit? So then James would stream it on Rabbit, everyone would get in the Rabbit room, and we would just all watch it together, and, like, you could hear people's excitement and their reactions, and that's what I miss the most. It's like being in a movie theater, but we're all losers on the Discord.
Watching that Gear 5 episode with Ollie and them, and Jacob not knowing, because I was willing to spoil Jacob on this, because it was a very, like, historical moment in not only the story, but just for the show, period. And I wanted him to be there for that. Yeah. Because it's a big moment, and he would have got spoiled.
Don't tell him, but I think it's really stupid that you guys are watching the new episodes if he's not even already all caught up. Again, this is all just coming from my personal thing, because, like, I would never... Like, that's why I'm not reading part 9 of JoJo right now, because I haven't even finished part 7. You know what I mean?
I get where you're coming from, but that's Jacob... I don't want to, like... completely speak for him, but Jacob, from what I understand, is a lot more... He doesn't really care about spoilers as much, because he's still, like, interested.
Yeah, he's like, I'm still gonna watch it anyway.
Yeah, it's just like, he knows he's gonna get spoiled on this shit on Twitter, and he still wants to, like, use his social media without having to, like, hide and shit.
No, that's fair. I just, like, see... That's, like, the whole spoilers thing. If I see something that, like, the name of, like, whatever, I'm trying not to avoid spoiling it, like, getting spoiled on, I just scroll right past it.
Yeah. So I'm surprised you get so mad when I'm like showing your 5 stuff.
Well, here's the thing, because you're literally like, it's different. It's not like I'm coming across it on Twitter and just scrolling past it. You are sending it directly to my inbox. Twitter, Discord, TikTok. I do not watch the One Piece TikToks you sent me. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Because like, if I'm planning on watching it, I don't want to see that. You know.
But are you planning on watching it though?
I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. That's why now.
That thing squishes so loudly.
Oh. You know what I think would be nice for the podcast?
What?
Actually, I like this idea. We're just talking about things we want to do for the podcast in this episode of the podcast. The future of the podcast.
So listen.
I know
I've been made fun of and turned down every time I've brought up this idea.
Are you gonna review another book? I told you it was a good idea. Do another slideshow
No,
presentation.
that's separate. But I was gonna bring that up.
Okay.
I'll get to that after this. We should do YouTube videos that don't need to be long, but just us showing each other like things that we're interested in.
We didn't shoot. I'm not going back to look for this. We talked about this in an episode, and Jacob and I were on your side. We liked the idea. The Hanging High Hobby Hour, remember?
Okay,
I am not going back all that way to do it, but I am 90% sure. Yes, we should. We just need to get together and like. Okay, so how about this?
Let's make a Google Doc and put down everything that we want to do. Like,
I don't know.
It could be just top.
Maybe there's a Google Doc in the Discord server pinned saying everything. That is literally everything related to the podcast.
This is the Hannah Naggin Boodle episode.
I'm just I don't know what it is with the men I talk to, but I can tell you guys a million things every day of your damn lives, and you're like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, to be fair, you say a lot sometimes.
So you just admit to not listening to me.
I do listen, but sometimes things, like, how do I explain this? Sensory overload.
Okay, I get it. But fuck you. I love you to death, though. But I really love that idea. I love that idea. Like, how about...
the doc I meant more specifically for the topics that we want to, like, do videos on.
We have one, though, I remember, because I put the gif of you twerking on it. Log into the podcast Google account. I know there was a gif of you twerking. Because you said ideas for the podcast, and that's what I put. And then you're like, oh, you want me to shake my ass? I'm like, yeah. But no, seriously, I love that idea. I think it's incredible.
I gotta re-sign into it.
How about this? So we have our episodes normally, how about there are 4 months. Sorry, I gotta look at the fucking calendar right now because I'm really dumb. How many Tuesdays? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 Tuesdays in this month? Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, so there are typically 4 Tuesdays in a month. Except for this month, apparently, because there's 5. How about...
The way he looked.
I didn't know he was over here. I thought he was still by the door barking. Sorry.
Dude, he did this to the camera. He was like...
Office moment. Sorry, Spotify listeners. My dog is here, and I didn't realize he was right next to me. What was that? Yeah.
Flying here. He's fucking with me. I hate him.
So how about this? Hanging High Hobby Hour. How about the last Tuesday of every month? Instead of doing a podcast, we do that. We obviously will record on the Saturday. Jacob probably wouldn't want to edit, so you can edit Jacob's too. But whoever's episode it is can edit the episode of the Hanging High Hobby Hour. And it doesn't have to be an hour. It just sounds nice. Hanging High Hobby Hour. 4 H's. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't have to be, but like, let's say Jacob does his about whatever he wants to talk about. If he wants to edit it, that's fine, or you can edit it. And then obviously I'll edit my own episodes.
I don't know if he's ever edited anything before. I could ask him if you want to learn.
I think the last Tuesday, we'll start this when we decide we actually want to start this. But the last Tuesday of each month, we should do that.
Okay.
Not each month, maybe like the last Tuesday, whenever.
I don't think we should make it so like formal.
No, I know.
I think it should be more. I think it should be more like adjacent to our podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like, oh, we're gonna talk about this for an hour instead of a podcast. We should just have like a short video where we're just like, hey, here's this.
That's what I'm saying. So like, instead of doing the actual podcast, what we put out that week is just a YouTube video. That's what I'm saying, in place of the podcast for that week. Okay. Kind of like when we did the what was it that we did? The Christmas thing? We did something where instead of the the most recent thing I can actually remember, instead of going back a year, the out of context thing. So instead of an actual podcast episode that week, we uploaded that instead. You know what I mean? I like that idea. What else besides that? What are you thinking?
Just ideas?
Just ideas for us to actually sit down and discuss like topics and stuff.
I mean, I'm blanking right now, honestly. There is stuff I want to like do, but I wouldn't know what to do.
I still think we should do the typical like. We have to do basic podcast stuff. You have to do the Am I the Asshole? You have to do the Reddit stuff. Like, we should seriously maybe do that as a stream. We go through and look through stuff in real time, and then we'll edit it down. True.
I mean, I didn't get to say much about it earlier, but I did want to do another presentation because I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Mm-hmm. And most of them have been from Joe Abercrombie and that same universe that I did the first presentation on. Those books are fucking awesome. I don't know what it is, but this man can write a sentence in like a recent chapter I remember listening to. All the chapter was 4 different perspectives on the same thing that happened. And just the way he writes how people think makes you, it helps you realize like what kind of person they are. Mm-hmm. Like, a person just talked like a fucking drunk and shit, and just, I don't know, just the way he writes makes me like, it's like he's putting me in the world.
Exactly, that's like the best.
So, I don't know.
Idea.
Yeah.
We all find a book. And we have a hanging high reading club. We like take like part of each. We'll do our normal podcast, and then towards the end of the podcast or whatever, we go through and we do our hanging high reading. We'll come up with little jingles too, but we'll have like our little book club.
Hanging high, shitting on the floor.
What did you say?
I said hanging high, shitting on the floor.
I don't give a shit or fart.
I don't give a fuck or shit.
Oh, I don't give a fuck or shit. I'm gonna. We should make like. Crappy really Redbubble shirts.
I really, really would love if you gave this a shot. I don't know if you would like it, but it's good.
Is that a sawed-off shotgun like that one song?
Dude, there are so many girl bosses in this new trilogy. I love it.
I do love girl bosses.
It's crazy because like all of the people that I was on their side with in the last trilogy, I'm kind of like, I'm flipped now because these new people are so cool.
But I like that. I think we should, like, obviously, I'm not going to go out and buy a book. Like, we'll find the PDFs or something, totally legally. And then we'll, like, read, like, a chapter or 2. And then we'll go from there. I feel like this would be, like, really good, though, because I do want to read more.
Yeah. My brain just can't, like, read normal books like that.
Yeah. Do you pay for your audiobooks?
I do Audible and just get a free one every month, and it's like way cheaper than buying them individually. Because normally the audiobooks for those are like $30 or $20 a piece.
So like same amount of money as a normal book.
I get them for like $15 a month.
I bought a book today.
And it usually takes me like a month or a little bit longer to finish one anyway. But these, I don't know. I got through that first one within like 2 weeks or so. I was like listening to it constantly.
Books are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I get, like, you need to make money or whatever, but, like, these really, really famous authors should not be spending, like, charging, like, $25-$30 on a book.
Yeah.
Like, I get independent, like, authors and, like, small, like, who are, like, just starting, like, to get published in this. Like, sure, you deserve it. But, like, Stephen King should not be charging, like, $30 for a book or whatever. And I'm just, like, using this as an example. Like, this book is $8. And I only use him as an example because I'm literally holding his book. Oh, look at that art. That's incredible. But, like, I bought a book today for $45.
What?
I bought a book for $45 today.
Was it that one? Or
No, that one was only actually $9.
What was it?
Spotify listeners. I'm holding up the book.
Dude got BTS.
Stop! Don't make fun of me right now. I love BTS.
Listen,
If you actually sat down and, like, listened to their music, I think you would really like it.
Can you let me? I wasn't trying to make fun of you, but I'm just like, oh, I knew it. You got BTS stuff. I had a feeling.
Here's the thing. I was going to pre-order it, but I wasn't going to spend for shipping. I wasn't going to spend, like, $45 on shipping, which I understand why that's so much. Mind you, that is cheap for international shipping. But I was going to spend that. I was waiting for it to come out in Barnes & Noble. So I bought it. It is the basically 10-year record of BTS and, like, the 10 years that they've been together so far.
Aren't they on a break right now?
They're on a hiatus right now, but they're still all doing their own solo stuff, which is really fucking annoying because every other week one of them is dropping something. And I'm like, I still have like 5 out of 7 books I still need to collect. Like these picture books that they have, like these concept picture books. I haven't gotten all of them because they're $30 a piece, but they also come with like all these little freebies, like photo cards and other little things, so it's worth the price because you actually get stuff with it. $45 for this fucking book.
Dude.
But like, I really wanted it, and again, like I said, I really want to start reading again.
You know something? I don't think I've ever really showed this.
I used to love reading.
If I ever get like a bigger house with like room and I have money, I want to collect these right here.
The Berserk books, yeah, those are huge, and they're so expensive.
This is like the best. This is like one of the best ways I've read a manga. Honestly, the pages are so like easy to read.
I have the Death Note all-in-one version because each version is like 15 something bucks on its own, and I just don't have that kind of money to buy 15 of each issue that comes out. Plus, I don't have that kind of space for any of those books. I got the all-in-one version. It was like $30. I'm like, I saved money in the long run. It's small, but it's like every single thing. I'll go grab it right now. Actually, give me one moment.
Okay.
Literally like this big. I mean, it's thick, but I can store it easily. It's got incredible art, and I fucking saved so much money in the long run. But no, I think that's another good idea for us to do. It's like just each come together, like recommend each other like a book. And then it's kind of like what we were doing with the movies, where we each recommend a book instead, and then we do that, and we have our little segment on that.
Dude, yeah, we haven't done anything like that in a while.
No,
the last one I remember doing was the Halloween one.
Yeah, so it's up to you guys now at this point to do something, because I already did mine.
Does it have to be a movie?
It doesn't have to be. I guess if you want to do a show or a YouTube video or something that you would really, really like.
We could do. I have ideas for like short shows that we could watch that I think you'd be interested in.
Okay. Ooh. That actually is a really good idea.
Because like I have like one kind of medium length show and one like short show that I could like recommend.
So do you want it to be like a long scale thing where we recommend like a review almost, or talk about each like episode or couple episodes, or just wait till the whole series is over?
Let me see, because let me see how long this show is, because it's been like a couple months since I've watched through it again.
Anyway,
so
what
there's 64 episodes. Now, that's what I'm saying. It's not as long as One Piece, obviously, but it's still kind of lengthy.
What is it?
It's called Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh.
Brotherhood. It is a show. This is a show I grew up watching, but never watched all the way through until like I was in like high school.
Okay.
But it's a very good show. The English dub is like perfect.
Okay.
So we're gonna watch it through there.
That's the thing too. That's kind of like different with me, like with people and like on my own. Watching anime dubbed.
Mm.
Like, I think it's easier to do if you're watching with a bunch of people. Because then, like, going back to JoJo Fridays, this is, like, peak my life. This is, like, the best part of my life ever up until this point. But, like, it was hard to watch it on the first go-around with people because, again, you can hear everyone's reaction. So if all three of us are in a voice call and something's happening and, like, Jacob says something or I say something, it's hard to focus if you have to read what it says. But, like, versus alone, if I'm by myself or even with Mike and we're watching it, like, in the way God intended, it's fine. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think, like, another thing you said is, like, it's just sensory overload at that point for me.
Yeah. It's also, like, it's a person-to-person thing.
Yeah.
Like, I completely understand if someone can only watch dub. There's just, like, some shows where I'm just like, look, if you can watch dub, fine, but it makes me hurt inside.
Yeah. It's like going back.
Yeah.
Have you saw Squid Game, right?
Yeah.
Watching that dubbed the dub for that was so bad. It
reminded
so
me
bad.
of, like, watching Godzilla movies as a kid, and they were, like, dubbed badly. That's what it reminded me of.
So, like, Mike is one of those person who can only watch a sub because he just can't. He just can't focus on what's happening while also reading, which I totally get. That's totally valid.
Yeah.
But watching Squid Game sub was so painful for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's rough. I feel like I just can, like, read something really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I don't know if that was just a byproduct of just me as a person or just that I've watched shows like this a lot. And
so you're used to it. I think, no, I'm with you. Like, I can, like, read it, like, fast. I can, like, soak it in fast. It's just, I don't think I'm processing it as fast as I'm taking it in.
Sorry to bring up One Piece again. But the animation in those episodes, I had to go back, like, 5 different times to just kind of piece it all together in my brain.
Yep.
Because it's like, I have to read, but I also gotta watch. So, for moments like that, yeah, it can be rough.
Have you seen Donnie Darko?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
So, you know how we're doing our little movie things and whatever we're trying to do? But this is the Hanging High podcast. So, Donnie Darko is one of those movies where you have to experience it like that at least once. I haven't yet. Are you picking up what I'm putting?
What?
This is the Hanging High podcast.
Oh, you want me to do drugs and watch a movie that could scar me?
I was trying to hint to it. I wasn't going to say it out loud. But
I got my bag over there, by the way. I don't know if I brought this up. I'm on a weed break.
Yeah.
I'm on a weed break right now. But that's just more of a personal thing. I just want to bring it up.
Can we air out your dirty laundry?
What? I got it in there. I don't want to air it out.
Oh, you're funny. I feel like I know I make fun of you, but like I genuinely like coming from a place of love. Like when I'm saying these things, I know I don't like have these types of conversations with you often. It's not something personally and mentally.
You're gonna put me on blast on the internet?
It's not like I don't really have like serious conversations like this a lot because it's just not something mentally I can handle. So I always make fun of you. But again, it's all coming from a place of love. Like if I wasn't such an asshole to you all the time, then you wouldn't then that's how I show my love. I'm not a lovey-dovey person. But I love you. So you would do it every day.
Yeah.
And I think at one point that's just so bad for your brain.
Yeah.
And your lungs too. But also at that point you don't even feel it anymore. You know what I mean?
The good part of me is I just need it. I need a break just because I need it. Mm-hmm. But the other part of me is man, it's gonna be better when I come back.
Exactly, because you're kind of building up a dependency to it, but also you're building up what's the word I'm looking for? Tolerance. Thank you. Yeah. And then you're gonna want to hit something stronger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you're gonna get into your schizo phase. If you hit something stronger. You know, like if you like smoke and take an edible at the same time, you get a little schizo. Is that just me?
I think that's just you. I remember you always talk about the voices.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking either.
I know, but like
I hear people talking.
No, it's like I remember one time I was like pissing, right? And it's just like, you know when you're in a movie theater and like watching a movie and something funny happens, so everyone in the movie theater is like ha 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 laughing? That's what I heard in my head.
Dude, you have like a laugh track.
I do! It's like young Sheldon.
You're young Sheldon, actually.
If I'll watch One Piece with you if you watch The Big Bang Theory with me.
I'd rather watch Young Sheldon. It seems like a better show. I'll watch Big Bang Theory. See, like, shows like that, I like to put on in the background.
Yeah.
Like, I love that 70s show, but, like, I can't have my attention on it 24/7.
I feel like,
you know
with,
what I
like,
mean?
especially if you're rewatching something, like Gilmore Girls, I fucking love Gilmore Girls.
Was that the old ladies? Was it the old ladies?
That's the Golden Girls.
Okay, it's the same thing.
No.
See, I watched the old lady one with my
that was good.
aunt and grandma.
When it was long, late at night, and I was like sleeping with my grandma, because I love my grandma, so I would like watch TV with her at the end of her bed and like sleep there if I fall asleep. But like that would be on. It's like that's another one. And the King of Queens.
Dude,
I
that
love
guy
that
is
show.
me.
Yeah,
he's me. That's what I want in my life.
That was a good. What he worked for like the UPS, but he didn't work at UPS, right? Because
we knew.
Yeah. I mean, just the shit brown uniform.
I think that's the life I want, actually. I want a life like that. Where just, you
just working your job, you come home, you got somebody who loves you.
Yeah.
I remember there was one episode where they were trying to have a baby, but I think they found out they couldn't have a baby.
I don't remember that
really
episode.
upsetting.
That sounds sad.
I think so. But again, I was a kid, so I'm like barely remembering.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, same shit. I remember there's some episodes.
I've never seen that. That's something I actually want to see. Have you seen 21 Jump Street, the show from the 80s?
No. I remember the movie.
The show, I really like the show.
Okay.
I haven't seen the movies yet.
Dude, I remember I watched Family Matters as well, and George
That's
Lopez.
with Steve Urkel, right?
Yeah. Dude,
George Lopez, the George Lopez show. Iconic. Do 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 do. Whenever I hear that song on the classic rock station, sometimes like, oh my god, it's the George Lopez show.
Yeah. Anytime I hear that song, I just think of that opening.
My do 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 do. It's so good. But we should like really do stuff like this for the show.
Yeah.
We should get together though, like make merch, like. Oh, I don't give a fuck or a shit or a fuck or a shit.
Yeah, Jacob still needs to give me that shirt. I might ask him tomorrow to drop it off.
We should like make I don't give a fuck or a shit shirts. Nobody's gonna wear them ever but us. Yeah. And then we'll make a clean version. I don't give a frick or a fart.
Hold on, here's a little clip from the dub, but it's like an outtake that made me laugh.
I'll watch that after. But I enjoy my podcast time with you guys. I enjoy like just looking forward. Again, like this sounds so sad, but I don't mean it because my life is actually sort of meaningful now. But I still like having something to look forward to every day and like fall back on and just know that like no matter how the week is, whether it's a good week, whether it's a bad week, whether it's like started off good, ended bad, or vice versa, like I can always just come here with you guys. Yeah. Regardless of who's actually here, and then we still do the show and we still just have a good time, and I really like that. And it just like I think it's really good for my brain too, because like it gets me like focused on something and like keeps me active, so I'm not like rotting away on the couch or something.
Oh yeah, of course.
Speaking of rot away on the couch, I have 4 episodes of The Big Bang Theory left, like, and then I'm
in
done.
general, like
yes.
Oh, you're gonna cry.
No.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You cry so much.
I don't cry.
I know you.
I just get invested. I get invested into my shows.
I gotta find that screenshot.
Sheldon and his girlfriend broke up.
That tweet. Dude, that was genuine laughter, by the way.
I wasn't crying.
You were. You look like it.
And then Sheldon and his girlfriend got married.
Dude, Sheldon just doesn't know how to...
I feel like if I knew Sheldon in real life, I'd just kill myself. I feel like he's a funny cartoon character, but he's so annoying. I just said cartoon.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say that. But, like...
He is a cartoon.
If I knew it, Sheldon, I think...
You might die.
Yeah. Like, why would you mean you're a genius, but you're also, like, the worst person ever? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's you.
But he gets better. He, like... Anyway.
He just realized what I said.
Thank you for saying I'm a genius, but...
Yeah.
He does get better. There is a lot of character development.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But 4 episodes left, and Raj is still a mess. Raj is my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
He's my favorite. I love what we did the, which Big Bang Theory character are you? Both Jacob and I got Howard.
I got, what's his name? Leonard?
You got Leonard, bro.
Leonard, like, just a good guy?
He's alright.
Oh, okay.
He's chill. You gotta watch the show. I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
Any times I've seen that show, he just seems like the only, like...
He's the main nerd.
One. Yeah. He just seems like the most, like, chill one. You know?
I don't know.
You put your pinky out like that? What the hell?
Etsy. But yeah, that's really all I had to talk about. But no, I don't give a fuck or a shit.
Dude, I see don't either.
We got.
It's funny because that shirt Jacob got has a dog on it.
Has a dog. Yeah. So. Okay, so we are genuinely going to make shirts. Like, we're gonna make crappy Redbubble shirts. Okay,
yeah,
so we're gonna do it. But that's it. So this was the future of the podcast, and I'll just edit this tomorrow. I'm not really dealing with that tonight. That being said, Icy wants to say bye to all of you.
Dude, people listening on the audio are gonna be like, why is this happening?
I haven't known peace in 5 years.
Dude, I remember I was sleeping on that damn couch and you did that shit.
Yeah, he probably...
like,
I'm so excited for you. Anyway, so that was a Hanging High podcast. If you want to get in contact with any of us, you can go to linktree.com/hanging high. Hanging High podcast. linktr.ee.com/hanging high podcast. There you will find links to the podcast, our other social media sites, but then you will also find the links to our link trees for each of our personal content. Our personal Twitters, YouTubes, TikToks, all of that. Sorry, my dog is an asshole. That's it for me. What about you? You got anything to add, boy?
So I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate the people that do watch. And if you're watching, like, a year from now, like 2 years, whenever you see this, hope you have a great day or night, whichever. Thank you guys for not watching our show. We appreciate it. Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye, love you. It's hanging high. It's hanging high.